Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joanne Lingerie, and I have two Canadian friends with us today, broadcasting to Langley, British Columbia, Canada. And I'd like to introduce Brian Harris and Linda Harris. Hi, guys.
Hi.
With that being said, I do want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Luscious Moss. Brad Quist is in Edgewood, Washington, and he owns the Luscious Moss Studio. And he originally set up, he has a very creative and collaborative environment, which was originally set up for drummers and guitarists. And he kind of branched out from there. He does produce my work as well as many others. So if you have any needs, you can reach him on Facebook at Luscious Moss Studio or by Jadquist. And good luck with that, and he's there to serve you. With that being said, guys, I have with me, like originally said, Brian and Linda Harris, and I'm really interested in knowing your backgrounds. But I'd like to cover a little bit about where you're broadcasting from because I find that very interesting. When we were talking earlier, you were telling me that you are in your, is it your barn that with the bunkhouse up on top?
That's where we rehearse, is up in the barn loft. We're lucky we have like a ranch hand barn loft up above the top of the barn there. We have a full back line, pool table, kitchen area, dance floor. So, it's easy for us to throw sometimes a small party
Yeah,
and
awesome.
some people
That's,
dance into some cover music and to some original music.
oh, that sounds like so much fun.
And just to, if I can make a correction, this is Nancy Harris.
Did I
Uh,
say Linda?
no,
Ah,
Nancy.
no,
That's okay.
that's
Well,
not
the thing is,
right.
there's a funny story about that because uh, on Halloween, when we used to go to Halloween parties to perform, we would go as Paul and Linda McCartney.
Oh, my goodness sakes.
And yeah, and it's really strange because sometimes when people see us together, and even though they know that Nancy's name, they go, "Oh, I see you brought Linda with you."
Oh, that is too cool. So
Yeah,
I do have a couple of listeners here. Do put your name on. I can't see you if you don't put your name in. There's a sign up way to get in there, but if you don't see that screen, you may miss it. So let me know your name. I have Rodney. He is a country singer, Rodney Landert from the Hot Rodsters, and he plays a lot of tributes to Charlie Daniels, and his music is pretty wild and woolly.
nice. Yeah.
Great fun, great fun. So that being said, hi Rosie, that's my friend Rosie. She's a regular. She comes in and listens to us. So to begin, I understand that you've named your band for a particular reason, Ages 2020. Would you like one of you like to explain that to me?
Um, well, AGES is an acronym. Uh, it stands for All Good Endeavor Society, and it's not, let's say, a proclaimed society. It's just whoever supports us in our music and the endeavors that we do. Try to help others. Have a helping hand up rather than a hand out. We do benefits, cancer benefits, leukemia, stem cell therapy, children's hospital, um, Chinese Cultural Center, whoever needs a hand.
Right.
Sometimes when people, like the other musicians, they go through bad times like knee trouble or back trouble and stuff, they have to take time off. We throw benefits, help to throw and part of the benefits to try and raise money for them to support themselves during that time. So we try to give back to society. And 2020 is always hindsight. You never know sometimes when you feel like you should have help somebody, and then you don't, and then you regret it later because you go, "Gee, I wish I really helped that person while I had the chance."
Yeah.
So hindsight's always 2020. So it's
Yeah.
ages 2020.
Hindsight 2020. That's the 2020 part of it, correct?
Yeah, yeah. All Good Endeavor Society, and hindsight's always 2020.
Absolutely. So, Linda, you are a drummer. Is that correct for this
Um,
band?
yes, I am a drummer.
I mean, Nancy.
Yes, I'm a drummer. I started drumming back in, well, just before I turned 50, around 47, I started drumming and met Brian through Facebook of all things. And he liked the challenge that I was doing, trying to play every day and learning new things. And he sent me some music of his and asked if I could do something with it. So I did.
Bravo. So, how long were you a drummer? I mean, when did you start? How did you pick the drums of all instruments?
I wanted to play drums for like from the time I was a teenager when I first tried band in junior high when I was 13, and there were already many guys in the role. So I was too shy to ask. And then back in 2009, my son has learning challenges. So I wanted to get him into band. That was a requirement of me for all four of my kids. I had to do band for at least a year. And I talked to the high school band teachers, what does he have to do to be able to play the drums? And they said private lessons. So I started going because of his learning challenges. I sat in on his lessons with him. And one day the teacher said to my son, give the sticks to your mom, let's see what she can do. And that was kind of, that was the start.
Oh,
And
my.
I
I'm
just
so
always,
good.
yeah, just always loved them.
Well, obviously, look where it has taken you. Huh? That's a good decision there. What is your background, Brian, as far as when did you start and who were your influences and how did this all happen when you formed your band, etc.?
Uh, well, the band Ages 2020 started in 2012. Um, but I've always had like a sort of musical background. My father played the accordion, and
Ah,
my grandfather was a guitar player, and uh, my grandmother, she didn't play an instrument other than the organ, like church organ,
right.
played church music and stuff. So right from school, I went to like a Roman Catholic school, so we had to take choir, of course.
Yeah.
Learn all the hymns and all that sort of stuff. And we had a harmonica band, so I joined the harmonica band. And the next thing I knew, a friend of mine who played the guitar asked me if I would play harmonica and sing and play tambourine and stuff for him. So I started that as a youth, and then later on,
Was this, sorry, was this during your high school years or had you already become of age or left school?
well, after the harmonica band, that was in grade school.
Okay.
And
Oh,
choir.
wow.
Yeah, the harmonica band was at St. Dunstan's Church, and yeah, that's what we did. And of course, having us in the church at the same time, we could do the choir as well, right? So it was like a double bonus for Father Toomey, our local priest. But and when I went to high school, I became more involved in singing because we had music in high school as well.
Right.
So uh, I was able to I was picked out of the class to do a duet with one of the girls in the class, and she sang her part. I did my part, and we had like a really amazing time. Everybody, when people started clapping at the end of it, I went, "Wow, this isn't so bad." But
Yeah.
it was around that time. I was a teenager at the time, and of course, back in the '70s, early '70s, people were getting into things they shouldn't be getting into.
Yeah.
But my friend that asked me to play harmonica and do percussion in his band, he got sick. He OD'd. He didn't die, thank God. But he became incapacitated to be able to perform anymore. So he gave me his guitar. He said, "Brian, you have to learn guitar now. I can't play it anymore. I'll play the tambourine. I'm shaking all the time anyway." I said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll learn the guitar, but promise me you're just not going to sing." Because the guy had a voice like Winnie the Pooh. So you can imagine Winnie the Pooh trying to sing rock songs and pop songs
No.
country songs and so on and so forth. It wasn't really going to work. So that started me off playing the guitar. I was about, I guess, going on 15 at the time. And throughout the years, I've been really fortunate. I joined a club called the Spotlight in Toronto, which was run by a fellow named Art Snyder. Who's sort of somewhat well known here in the Canadian industry. He's a little bit of a snake oil salesman, but he gave us a place to, he gave us a stage to go on to, and it was really funny because once you got hooked up with this club, you could go there and you could rehearse, and it only was $20 to join the club, but every piece of equipment that you had to use for your act or your rehearsals or whatever, charged $1 for. So we found that, okay, that's really great. We get an amplifier, a PA, we got this and that and the other. We only have to pay for $1 for each one for an hour to go up and perform. And that worked quite well. So as I developed, I joined a duo, Thunderbolt and Lightning, and then we became a trio. And we started playing Toronto, and next thing you know, we got an agent named Armin, who was a real, oh boy, I tell you, he was a piece of work. Uh, if there was ever a character I would want to film, it'd be him because he was so funny, and he looked the part too. He had long hair down to here, and it was just frizzed out like this, big glasses, very thick, and a beard.
Oh.
So he would send us around to these small towns and so on and so forth, and then he says, "Hey, listen, we gig out in BC. If you want to go out to BC and see beautiful BC." And this was in '79, so John and I were just young, and we were just like, getting into late teens, early 20s, and we just like, okay, let's try it. We're getting paid to go, so let's go, right? So we came and we loved it. I have an uncle that lived out here, and his wife's still living out here on a farm.
Yeah.
And of course, I came out here, and while I came here, I went to the farm and did some work, and because I was, even though I grew up in Toronto, I had to be forced to go to Toronto off my grandparents' farm. So I didn't love the city too much. So every chance I got to be out in the country at my grandparents' farm, I was there. So when I came out here and I knew my Uncle Doug had a farm, I went to work for him for a while, just to balance the books in between music because we weren't making a lot of money. And I decided I would come back again. We had to finish doing a little bit of a tour, and went back to Toronto. We came back in 1980, and then we came back in '81. And in '81, I said, I'm just going to stay. You guys can, move on. So I helped get another couple of people to join the band, and they decided they wanted to change the name. And I said, "Oh, that's fine. You guys change the name or whatever." So we changed the name called Four Way Street, and I played along with them for the first 6 months or so, just to get them used to all the songs and stuff that we do. And then they moved on. They went up to Lambs Creek and then through the States and then through Canada and back to Toronto again. And they're still around. There's a couple of members that have passed away since, but Andy Mason and John Law and stuff are still around. And one of them's out here on the island and the other one is in Quebec. And he's doing quite well. He has a couple of his own CDs. And one of them, I think, is called Walking on the Wrong Side. Country and rhythm and blues. And during this time, I was writing songs, but I never was confident enough to go out and actually start recording them or performing them and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, in around, I guess it was 1989 or around 88 or 89, I started playing some of my own songs, just mixing them up in the sets. and I started getting very good responses from them. So I thought, oh, I got to find another band, right? Like, like I put away the guitar for a little while. I had a regular job, a cleaning company and stuff like that. Plus, I was working on farms and ranches here and there because that's my second nature is to be on a farm. So I did that for a while and give my kids time to grow up. And by the time they were teenagers, they were saying, "Why don't you go out and play again, Dad? Why don't you go out and play again? We'll come to your show, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, gee, okay." So I picked it up and got back into it, and found another band called the Wreckers, and I also had a couple other friends that I jammed with. So I started playing along with these guys and with some of my friends, and we decided, okay, well, 2000, I was with them for about 10 years or so. And then in the 2012 or 2011, 2011, we decided to go in and do a beach CD to raise money for the beach. And called the Music for the Naked, we called the album, the CD. And
Would you just say Music for the Naked?
Yeah, it's for
it would be the people that the band, the Wreckers. I don't know if people are familiar with them, but the Wreckers are a naturalist band, like a nude band.
Oh,
they're from Wreck Beach.
There's a beach here in Vancouver. It's called Wreck Beach, and that's I had a place called the Loft where I would do soup kitchens for people. And I had the Wreckers come and open for me. And then when they were opening the place, I said, "Can I play a song with you guys?" And they said, "Oh, yeah, okay." So I played a song with them, and that was it. We were hooked on each other. So, but I didn't realize, okay, well, they were from Wreck Beach. So I said, "Oh, you got to come down to the beach and check it out," and blah, blah, blah. So I went down, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, right? Okay. This is different, right? But they set up there's a burger stand down there. People sell food. People sell blankets and trinkets and jewelry. But this one particular burger joint said we could set up under their licensing to play in front of their stand to get business to the stand there.
Right.
So we set up and we started to play, and we ended up playing on the beach for over 10 years, like a long time. Like
naked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got pictures, and my guitar is just covering my parts. Okay.
I don't think I'm going to go there anytime soon.
So the pictures are okay online. They just look like everybody's got their shirts off, and you can't see past their guitars anyway.
New concept of music.
Yeah, so we called Music for the Naked the album, and then it was slash The Naked Truth, because it's not like what people would think. The Naked Truth, the beach isn't it's not sexualized.
It's actually clothing optional.
It's clothing optional, so you can wear a bathing suit if you want a bathing suit, or if you don't want a bathing suit, you don't have to wear one. But we monitor. We have regulars on the beach that are part of the Wreck Beach Preservation Society, because we raise money to keep the shoreline clean, and to keep people from digging up the shoreline, and to not kill the animals or not feed them things they shouldn't be feeding them, because we need our ecosystem safe. We need it clean. And we try to do what we can for the environment, right? So it's preservation of the beach that is the most important, along with people's freedoms and body acceptance and respect for each other. So a lot of people say when they first hear a nude beach, they go, "Oh my gosh," but no, it's really a lot more, actually more wholesome than people think. It's just
quite spiritual.
People, we don't call ourselves Buddhists anymore. We're naturalists. Right. So, but during weather like this, nobody's down there except on New Year's Day.
That might be a little cold.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. But there's still regulars that go down there to keep an eye on the ecosystem, because believe me, there's some people there that And one of the reasons they call it wreck beach is because all the logs from the ocean, a lot of logs come in and they wreck themselves up on that beach. And every year we have to drag logs off the beach, and they have to go into a barge type thing and get pulled out. And so we get people like people from the beachcombers that come and clean our beaches and stuff like that from all the logs. So yeah, and someone's got to pay for that, right? We donate what we can and stuff like that, even though the province and the city pay for most of it. But we like to keep things natural, and we like to keep things beautiful. And there's even we have little bylaws, like you can't smoke on the front 100 feet of the beach. There's a line sort of the poles here and there, and if you want to smoke cigarettes, then that's where you're smoking your cigarettes. You can't be in the front and in the middle with everybody, blowing smoke in their face. It just doesn't work, right? And plus, it saves on picking up butts. There's people like to throw their cigarette butts in the sand, and that's terrible, right? So we keep it really clean. So we did this CD. In fact, I'll do one of the songs from that CD today. It's called Sweet Love, and it's sort of a country blues song.
Okay.
And
are you ready? Are you ready to do it?
Oh no, we can do it later. But
okay.
I mean, I just figured I'd mention to you because that is on the Wreck Beach CD, and it is kind of it's got
rockabilly.
It's a rockabilly type tune.
Yeah. Okay.
But and the other one, if you want me to do another one, well, I figured it's December, might as well do a Christmas song.
Oh, cool. All right. That's good.
Yeah.
Are you going to play the drums, Nancy?
Oh,
no, not here.
Do you play the cajon, or do you just play drums? Do you do both, or?
Well, I don't have a cajon right now, and my hand drum is out on block, so I don't have anything to play right now.
Okay. All right.
We're in the house. We figured we'd do it in the house. We could have done this up on the studio, but Dad wanted to sort of sit in. He's sitting in his chair at the table there, kind of listening and watching a interview here.
He's 94.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Country does wonders. So does music.
Yeah. He gets his foot bath every night.
So what I'd like to know is that you brought it up that you were looking for a drummer, and was that in Ages 2020, and that's how you met Nancy, or
yes.
There's got a love story here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. She had this challenge going on, and I'd noticed her online for I don't know, about 8 months or so. And she was going for the drum every day to rehearse or practice every day for a year to see if she could do it. Yeah. So she was coming so close to the end of her year.
That was at the start of the year.
Well, when I
3 months in.
3 months 3 months in when I first noticed her, but I thought, I listened to her and I thought, geez, that's more what I'm looking for, because I have actually three other drummers. One's a hand drummer, but two of them also play the kit. One of them has passed away since, which is unfortunate. But the other two drummers, they're real. One plays more like Charlie Watts, does Rolling Stones type stuff, and the other one did like all the such a wide genre, but he was a power drummer. So it and sometimes even with the original music, you're looking for a certain type of drummer, one that can lay back and then one can turn it on when they need to turn it on, right? But with some of these people, it's drummers, I find especially, they like to be loud, and they're into it so much, drumming in those skins, that they don't realize sometimes how loud or get people. They override people and stuff. And when you have your own music and stuff, and you're trying to explain to people, well, can you do this? Can you do that? And they go, no, it sounds better like this. You know what I mean? So it's basically So I was looking for a drummer who was versatile enough to be
And
able
teachable.
to take direction.
I'm sorry, missed what you said,
I
Nancy.
said, and teachable.
Oh,
So
yes.
really take direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so because when you like, it's like any other instrument. Let's say you wanted to add a saxophone, you say, "Okay, I want you to do this, da 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 da," like in that song "Move Me," or in
That was in
or in
Can't Eat.
"Can't Eat" or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But if they say, "Oh no, it sounds like better like this," it's a long story. You're not what I'm looking for. I need someone that can take direction, right? Like it's like orchestrating a small. But you have a small band, you have 4 or 5 people, but you still have to orchestrate your own music the way you want the feeling of it to come out. Like it's the feeling of the song that's important, not how flashy you are or how fast you are on the guitar doing your licks, or it's just not that for me. I need I wanted someone to accentuate what I was doing, right, to the message.
Right.
So when I ran across Nancy, I went, you know what? This could be a perfect opportunity for me to have a drummer that can actually follow direction, because she's doing that on her own, right, already.
And at the time, I had actually only been playing seriously for a year. My first drum teacher didn't really work out very well. And I found a really good drum teacher. And the first day I was there, we just had like an introductory lesson. He said, "Well, what do you want to get out of your drums?" And I said, "Oh, well, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I want to be in a band." And he said, "I don't think that's crazy. I think that's awesome. Let's get started." So it was like a really good match with the teacher. And that was in 2011. And then in 2012, we got together.
Yeah. And it was just kind of one of those things that, because I wasn't looking for a relationship, and Nancy wasn't looking for a relationship, and I was leaving a relationship at the time, sort of, but it was really funny. I brought Nancy home to meet with the woman I was living with at the time. I said, "Oh, I got a new drummer here. I want you to meet her." And she met her, and she goes, "I would keep her. She's much better looking than Jamie." But she was biting her tongue a little while after that, because next thing you
Because he
know,
kept me.
yeah, I kept her. I ended up marrying her.
Wonderful.
Nothing better to do in 2020. We got married and we went into the recording studio. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
during
so-
during
the COVID thing, it was just everything.
yeah, that's a good segue into that. I did want to ask you about that. Things got kind of crazy around here. I
Yeah,
would imagine they did up there too.
yeah, we weren't allowed to go anywhere. Couldn't have any gatherings, none of that stuff. So I figured, okay, maybe it's time now. Like, I've gone through I did all the things that I had to do. Like, I played all the nasty bars when I was young, and the coffee houses, and this and that. And I started getting into it, because by the time I met Nancy and we got the music down, we started playing nightclubs and so on and so forth. And which I kind of saved her a little bit of time going through the nasty bars.
I played one.
She played one bar. That was a nasty bar. We walked in, and Nancy looks to the side. She goes, "Oh, are those apples?" I go, "No, those are tomatoes. And if you don't play good tonight, we're wearing them."
Quite literally. But we played well. We weren't tomatoed.
Perfect. I'm always worried about beer bottles, but so far I've been lucky. Anyway, we have a comment from Rodney, and he says, "You can't beat a good drummer." And my feeling on drummers is that they are the soul or the heartbeat of the band.
That's right.
And they're, a lot of people say, "Oh, they're not musicians." Oh, yes, they are. And without them, you're not going to sound the same as with them. So, yes, I think they're a very important part of the band.
Thank you.
And actually, it's funny you say the heartbeat of the band, because in one of our songs called "Baby Is Born," I'm going to play that today.
Okay.
The drum in the background for that has a heartbeat in it. The way
cool.
Nancy's doing the drum on it is it's a lot on basically on the, I guess it would be the bass drum that she does that thud thud
Oh, sure, sure, yeah.
thud, and you can't really notice it. It's not really noticeable, but in a way, when I'm standing listening to it, sometimes I can catch it, and I'm wondering to myself, is that because I know it's there, or is it because it's more predominant in
There's a
this
couple
part?
of songs that we have that heartbeat in it. That one is as much on the bass as it is on the way the hands are. The actual beat I play on the snare drum and the hi hat.
Yeah.
And the other one that we play is Mother Nature, Father Sky, Mother Nature,
Yeah, Mother Nature,
Father Sky,
Mother Nature, Father
and
Sky
that's
also
got the
has it
double beat on the bass drum
as well.
as well.
Okay, well, let's hear this song. I'm all ready to hear this. So I'm going to bow out of this, guys. You won't see me on screen.
Okay,
I'm going to block myself out so that they have a better picture of you playing. Okay,
all
I'll
right.
come back when you're done.
The first song I'll play is Sweet Lovin', and then I'll play Baby Is Born. But here we go, and I hope you enjoy it. It's not a fancy song. It's a little bit of a rockabilly, but here you go, Sweet Lovin'. Well, I come home the other night. My baby, well, she was mad at me. Well, I come home the other night. My baby, well, she was mad at me. She said, what'd you do with all that money? Gotta have rent, you see. Well, I got sweet, sweet loving, baby. That's what I got for you. Well, I got sweet, sweet loving, baby. That's what I got for you. Well, I'm gonna love you, baby, all the whole night through. Well, now, what was I thinking when I went drinking last night? Well, what was I thinking when I went drinking last night? Well, I lost all my money, got into a terrible fight. She said, Lordy, Lordy, what am I gonna do? Well, she said, Lordy, Lordy, well, what I'm gonna do? Well, I need that man running, Lordy, but he's got loving all night through. I got sweet, sweet loving, baby. That's what I got for you. Well, I got sweet, sweet loving, baby. That's what I got for you. Well, I'm gonna love you, baby, all the whole night through. She said, Lordy, Lordy, what am I gonna do? She said, Lordy, Lordy, what am I It's got loving all night through. Oh, that's right. Well, I've got sweet, sweet loving, baby. That's what I got for you. Oh, yes, it's right. Well, I got sweet, sweet loving, baby. That's what I got for you. Well, I'm gonna love you, baby, all the whole night through. Oh, well, I'm gonna love you, baby, all the whole night through. Sweet loving. Yeah.
All right. I think we have a Christmas song coming too, right?
Yeah, one Christmas song. This song's called Baby is Born. Of course, it's about our king. And it's a little slower, but it goes like this. Said he was born Christmas Day under a star that came from far away in the night, under light of a star that shines so bright. And it was the day of our king. The bells that ring, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. The baby was born. In the night, under light of a star, in the night, under light of a star, hush, go to sleep, oh sweet baby, hush, go to sleep, oh sweet baby. And the animals sang la 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 la. Baby is born. Our baby is born. Night, under light of a star, in the night, under light of a star, baby was born, a baby was born, a baby was born. And the animals sang la 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 la. Baby is born. In the night, under light of a star, in the night, the light of a star, a baby was born.
Thank you for that. That's because you're in this Christmas spirit.
Yeah, it's we play it pretty well every year. Like since well, since we recorded it, and maybe before that actually. I did a couple of shows before that, before I recorded it, just to play it for Christmas
Right.
at Christmas
nightclub?
parties. Well, yeah, we played it at the nightclub, and because we were there in I think of November or December, so we decided to play it for people, and we got a huge reaction for a nightclub. I was really surprised. People were saying, "Oh, when is that going to come out?" I'm like, "Oh, well, recording it soon."
Wow. Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah. But
So
the
this,
money it costs for recordings these days is sometimes outrageous. But our producer is just amazing. Rob Biggs from Marpole Studio. He's
right.
really good. Like he charges like an average of $40 an hour,
Ooh,
and that's really good because that includes all your, you know, his producing and everything else. That
yeah.
and during COVID, we couldn't have the whole band come in with us.
Yeah.
So it was
Problem
really
there.
fortunate. Yeah, it was very fortunate for me that Rob is also a bass player and
And a lead player.
and a lead guitar player,
Wow.
right?
And a backup vocalist.
Plus he sings as well. Like he was in a band called Vertigo years ago, which was a really well-known band here in Canada. And they toured around the States and they did the UK thing and
Yeah.
you know they were around. But as he got older, he decided he wanted to go into producing. And even these days, he still performs with a band called Almost Bowie. And I tell you, oh, they are good. They're really good. If you like it, if you like David Bowie's music, you really enjoy their performances.
So what would you call your genre?
Well,
What would you group your music as, or can it be classified or categorized?
yeah, see that's just it. Like I'm a multi-genre. Like we have a couple of reggae songs. We have like world music
Reggae.
songs.
Blues.
We have blues. We have
Ballads.
country. We have ballads. We're
Some
sort of
rock, some pop.
multi-genre. I was actually approached by a couple of labels who said to me, Brian, um, if you can get it down where you just like do, 20 or 30 songs of this nature or that nature,
Yeah.
maybe we could sign you, right? And you
Right.
can make some money and then that'll pay for your recordings. But it's a double whammy because even when you get signed somewhere and they give you money, you have to pay that money back. That's only front money until you start making money. But once you start making money, they want that money back,
Yeah.
right? So you're not really earning money; you're going into debt, right? And performing for someone else that wants to limit your
Right.
Exploit.
Creativity.
yeah, it limits your ability to branch out, to hold the olive branch out to people that might say, "Oh yeah, well, like you, you're a good musician, but
Yeah.
like
Right.
you only play one genre, right?" And
Yeah.
it's just nobody plays only one genre. I've all the people that I've met,
Right.
and I'm talking people that are actually some people are signed to labels. They say, "Oh yeah, I do what they ask me, but I do what I want on my own."
Right. Right.
So I mean, like, you might as well just set yourself free and say, "Listen, I don't care if I ever get signed to a label. I just want to do what's in my heart." Like,
Right.
you
So
know,
at this point, um, it sounds to me like you're an independent artist. In other words, you more or less do it your music by
yeah,
yourself.
we are indie art.
Advertise.
Yeah, we are indie. We're indie music.
Indie too.
We're on the indie charts. We're sitting at number 13.
Yeah.
Um, and that's for another one of our songs called "Move Me." It's a dance song, and it's actually about that song is um, it's a tribute to a lot of the women I know, like mostly every woman I've met has written poetry, and they have their own songs to sing. So I wrote a song about their songs, about them, and asking them to sing it to me because it's their song. And so I call it "Move Me" because that's what I want them to
Yes,
do is
they're-
move me with their songs, right?
right,
And how could I know how beautiful their songs are unless I hear them?
right, exactly.
You
So
know.
what do you got coming up? What do you have in the future? And do you have
Well,
a plan like 1 to 5 years, or you just kind of just going from thing to thing, or how are you doing this?
what we're doing right now is tomorrow's the 5th. I think we have an engagement for tomorrow, but they haven't confirmed it with us yet. So it's for a Christmas party.
Hmm.
But we have we do have a regular bass player, Rex Becker, who's taken a step back into playing bass. We lost our bass player, Helen. She unfortunately passed away. So our lead guitarist, who also can play bass, he's been gracious enough to take that spot.
Mhm.
And we had another fella come in, Wayne Legreely, who plays lead guitar. So we have and keyboards, and he does backup vocals and stuff. So it's really good because now when we go out to perform, I don't have to worry about losing anything because Brian and Wayne can both sing backups and stuff, and
Mhm.
Nancy can sing backups,
Nice.
and so it's you get more like a better presentation of what the recordings sound like, and you get that live. So that's a really good bonus for us, and we're just
over the next 5 years, we just want to get back into the studio and
yeah.
record a few more
I
songs.
I have like
Hundreds.
quite a few songs yet that like I haven't even really broke the surface. I've all the songs, including this album, the CD that I did with the records, which was basically 10 songs, and then we did another 18 in the studio and an EP. But I still have like another 150 songs to record.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm looking at $500 a song. Oh my gosh, it's going to be quite a bill.
yeah, I do about two a year, and I can tell you that it's over 5,000 because
Oh
I have to hire my people. So
no, I'll
Oh,
tell you.
you're hiring all your musicians and everything,
Right.
studio musicians.
Yeah.
That adds up.
Yeah, that does add up. But when you get together, sort of like once you like if you can find a producer who's multi-talented, that's
Right.
amazing because then you cut out you're not that you're cutting your bandmates out, but you're being more independent on what you're doing, and you can talk to the producer as to
Yeah.
what the feeling of the song is.
yeah, my producer does that. But if I need a backup singers or a certain part for singing, or
Right.
if I need a drummer, or if I need a violinist or a
Right.
steel or whatever, I've got to pay that extra, and it can add up very quickly. So
Oh, it does. It does add up quickly, and they all like to get paid for their works too,
right.
unless you're signing them on for a percentage of any royalties that come in, and it's better to get.
I've never had a penny.
Well, it's better to just to pay them rather than sign them up that way,
Right.
because you don't make a lot of money at music anymore.
No, not a fraction of a cent for songs on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're better off to sell merchandise or else go out and get paid at a gig for $500 or $700, whatever, right?
Right.
So
We do have a Legion up like fairly close to us, and if you play at the Legions, if they have live music, they do pay.
yeah,
Good.
So
oh yeah, they're
it
pretty
is a
good.
possibility that at some point in time we might do that as well. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I like playing Legions and stuff. They're
Yeah.
very laid back, and they like variety.
Yes.
You can
Yeah,
play
that's true.
country song music, blues music, a little bit of rock, and before you know it, your night is over, right? If you do a set of each, a set of country, a set of blues, and a set of rock
And throw
songs.
the
And
originals.
throw the originals in there in between here and there, and
I
boy,
don't
you got a
know.
good night.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like where you are, but where we are, the bands that make the most money are the bands who play covers,
Yeah,
They play what?
cover tunes.
Yeah,
But
not
it's
so much. Not so much here. I know a couple of bands. I interviewed one, the James Carr band. He does all his own original music with his band, and people just eat it up and love it. And I don't know how he doesn't.
yeah, we do that at things uh, like at nightclubs, like the Fan Club or the Red Room. We won't play cover songs in those type of scenarios. We play original music. If people come, they're coming out to see us, especially. So we're going to play them our music.
Right.
And if there's this, let's say, a special occasion or a birthday or whatever, I'll go up
Right.
and I'll ask the birthday table, hey, what's your favorite song? And see if I know it. Right? Even if it's a cover song, I'll play it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like it's someone's birthday, his birthday, her birthday, or an anniversary. You know, anything like that. There, it's. I like to be hands on and talk to the people and stuff before the show and after the show and stuff. I don't hide in the back or anything. I say if you want to talk to me, I'm going to be over there at the bar. If you want to see me, or at this table, or you know.
Yeah, we got a new thing going on here, and it's just starting. Uh, and what they do is one person will come on, usually with two or three people, not necessarily a band, although that has been happening now more. And they play for only 2 hours. So one band comes in, plays for 2 hours, and then the other band comes in and plays for the other 2 hours. And usually they're pretty different. I mean, the music, rock, maybe
Yes,
country and rock, or country and blues, or country and God knows what else. But
yes,
is that happening there too?
yes, at the fan club actually we played uh, uh, a Mexican band played, played before us, a mariachi Mexican band, and they did ska music, right? And then we went up and we played again afterwards after they played, and it was a really good show, and the people are incredible. And a couple of years, about 5 years back, I guess, the Castle Band came.
Yeah.
We host bands sometimes when they come to Canada. If they need a place to stay or whatever, we let them stay in the barn loft because then they can rehearse their songs
Right.
and stuff.
Wow, how nice.
So
Yes.
yeah, so a couple of years ago, a band came over from Mexico. They're called the Cascabana, and we hosted them while they were here on their tour. And they stayed up in the loft and stuff. And it's really funny because even to this day, they still uh, they follow me online.
Follow both of
They
us.
follow both of us online, and they comment on our posts and stuff, and they tell us how much they miss us and how much they appreciated being
Right.
able to come here and stay on the
Right.
farm. Fresh eggs every day.
I mean, I love eggs. Oh, that's
Well,
wonderful.
you're welcome if you're ever touring across here this side of the border. You're welcome to come in. And in fact, now that we're in the house, you don't have to stay in the barn loft anymore. You have a nice long RV to stay in, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's got its own kitchen and everything else. So it's just a walk to the bathroom to the house here because I
Well,
renovated.
I have a question. Do you know the band called Eagle Eyes?
No, but I do know the band Idolize.
No, no, this one is a tribute to the Eagles.
Oh,
And they,
that'd be nice to see. I did.
oh, are they good? They're out of Canada, but I don't know where. They come down here to the States every now and then and play in that town next to me called Bellevue, Washington. And yeah, that's the only time that I've had a whole lot of contact with Canada.
Yeah.
But I do know that some of the people, this guy called Robert Henry's band, and I know he goes up there. I don't know if he goes across the border or not. And Billy Shu, who I jam with on Wednesday nights, he goes up there and plays. I'm not sure where, but they come up and they really have a good time. So
Yeah. Well, a lot of people actually from states in Washington stuff, they come right in through Langley.
oh, Langley, okay.
Yeah, and Langley, BC is like we're only 16 blocks, I guess it is.
16 from the border.
Oh,
Yeah.
from Blaine, yeah, or where or which border?
Linden.
Linden, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a Blaine area. Yeah.
yeah, so it's pretty. We're in farm country, of course, but it's nice and it's quiet. Gives people a break, chance to think. It gives them, like when you're going to a different place, and sometimes hotel rooms if you're playing in a hotel, sometimes they still charge you your room,
Yeah.
right? So your room goes on top of what you get paid this much, but we're taking 140 back for the room. You know what I mean? And it's like that's not fair, really.
Yeah.
So we offer our place. We offer it to
That's
host.
very nice. Very hospitable.
Well, it's we got to help each other in this business.
Yeah.
Like I say, the industry doesn't help us that much.
I
So
want to ask you about that.
help each other.
I want to ask you about that, Brian. What I don't know. Have you ever lived in the States? Yes or no?
No, I've
No.
never lived
Okay.
in the States. No.
So it's probably kind of hard to compare it, but what would you describe the music industry in Canada? I mean, you can't compare it to the United States, obviously, but what would you what would you describe it as, and what advice would you give people trying to come up there to play? Either
Um,
one of you, Nancy or you.
Well, I was just going to say that from what I understand in the US and from what you've been saying, original bands are quite popular there or were at one time.
Yeah.
Up here, the people that are making the money, like even in the casinos, it's either a tribute band
Yeah.
or a cover band.
Yeah.
I mean, I know musicians up here that they're making, like they're playing out every weekend, but they're playing cover tunes. They're playing cover
Yeah.
songs.
Do you have wineries and breweries that hire on and do just acoustic or small one solo or two people or so?
What was that?
For breweries or wineries, you have your
Oh yeah,
breweries?
yes. There's a winery just up the street, and they have during the summertime, late spring and summer, they have people come up and play at their events and so on and so forth. So we've been invited up there a couple of times. The girl who comes and brings flyers here for us to be able to attend. She heard us playing one time and asked us, oh, who was that? Was that you? Because I came downstairs from the loft. I said, oh, yeah, that's my wife and my friend and I were playing up there. And she goes, well, you should come and play for us up the winery, and we're having an event and blah, blah, blah. We'll just pop in and give us your information. And I'm like, okay. But I'm working on the farm here a lot, and sometimes in the summer, especially in spring, there's a lot of work to do.
No.
So, we haven't, and during this COVID thing and stuff, myself, I've becoming a little bit more reluctant to go out and play. So, but we are going to go and check it out next spring. And we'll go
So
out.
the last
I think my biggest advice would be networking. You have to network here.
Yeah, do your
I
homework.
was in a meat market. It's just a little local produce meat market, and I had a shirt on that said "I destroy silence." I think that was the shirt.
I love it.
And she says, "Oh, that's a really cool shirt. Do you play the drums?" And I said, "Yeah, actually, I do." And they're run by a recovery addictions recovery center. And she said, if we're ever doing a fundraiser, would you be willing? Can I take your contact info? So you never know where you are, who you might be talking to, who might have an in. And I mean, I said, well, I realized that, you wouldn't pay as much because it's, it's charity. And she said, oh, no, we would pay, and she gave me the amount. I was like,
They don't do that here.
yeah, right. It was like more than what I expected to hear.
Wow.
So it's all about networking.
Back in the day, I used to
Good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
back in the day, I used to put shows together, like and I'd pay the bands. But the thing is that you have to make it worthwhile for the people that are attending to come and listen to the bands, and you have to make it worthwhile for the bands
And the charity.
and the charity itself, right?
I have one last question before we go. It's 1 o'clock, so I'm going to run over just a tad. That shirt you're wearing, I happen to have a song that's coming out called Warriors of the Cherokee, and I noticed that you have a shirt that is very.
Oh yeah, it's okay. Well, a good friend of mine, one of my drummers, actually gave me this shirt, and I couldn't believe it when he gave it to me. He says, "Here, Harris, you got to have this." And I'm like, "Wow, no way! That's like a very nice shirt." He said, "Yeah, but you're the front man, and we need you to look good." I'm like, "Okay, thank you.
That's
If
cute.
that's going to make me look any better." But I do get a lot of compliments from it and stuff like this here, and it's kind of inspirational for me. And I thought I'd wear it today for this interview to hopefully
Thank you.
inspire others too to try to be conscious the power inside, you know, inside each and every one of us, especially music makers and poetry writers and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
We bring something to the table, and um, I just wish luck for everybody and power for everybody to be able to share that and share the love. So it means a lot to me, this shirt, and we call him Shadow. That's what we call him. We've always called him Shadow because he's always watched our backs. But his name's Daniel Zapton. He's a great guy and one of my best friends. And somebody I met on Rick Beach, oddly enough.
Well, with that, I'm afraid we're going to have to close. That hour went by so fast. I don't think we even touched on half of what I like to have asked you.
Well, next time we can do another interview, but we'll do it for Nancy.
That's a perfect idea. I agree. All right, guys.
I says,
Well-
you're my manager. You got to be in on this, right?
Absolutely. Thank you both for coming out today. I'm sorry I called you Linda, but now
No
that was
worries.
such a great story. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, yeah.
My middle name is Lynn, so it's pretty close.
True. All right, guys. You have a good rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Your
And
rest of your
thank you,
week.
everybody. To
And best of
everyone
all,
tuning
good
in.
holiday.
Yeah, to everybody tuning in, thank you very much for spending some time with us. And like I say, if you're coming to Canada, give us a call. ages@live.ca or ages2020 at
.com.
outlook.com. That's send us a letter. Let us know you're coming.
Or just pop onto
Or-
our webpage, www.ages2020.com,
Yeah.
and there's a submit button for more information.
Yeah, we'll put you up for the weekend.
All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Happy holidays to you
Okay.
as well.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas to all.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was interesting. That's all I have for today. Again, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. I interview all levels of musicians. So this is just what I do with my show. I know they're not local, but we've been going across the border into Canada, our bands, our local bands. So I felt it was only right for us to include them as well. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Next week, I have Jeff Batista, Jerry Batista's brother. And Jerry is best known for his jams on Tuesday night from 6 to 9 at the Oxford, and also for his band, the Davinoes. But he does other things, and he does play with his brother from time to time. So we're having him on our show. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Have a good rest of your week. And I will be gone 2 weeks, maybe 3, on Christmas and New Year's, which happen to fall on a Monday. And after that, I'll be starting again. And let's see how things are going to change in 2024. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.